So today I wanted to talk about something that I think I've been thinking about for the last maybe 5 years. I have this fear of success. And it sounds very counterproductive, because it is. But this is something that I've noticed no matter how many achievements I make. I'm alright with setting up a plan, following the goals and achieving the goals and completing projects and doing things and making somewhat successful things. I've created videos for other people that have reached millions upon millions of people. I've made a good bit of money over the last 10 years, and I know quite a bit about a whole lot of different things. And while that may seem egotistical to say, there's also this underlying concept to me that no matter what I do, there is this constant change. No matter how much I achieve, I'm going to have to sacrifice something else in my life. The best way I can describe this, I think, is as I grow and do more things, as I achieve more things in my life, I have to give up on the things in the past. And I kind of look at my life as a bit of a book. You know, each chapter, new things come into your life, and then at the end of that chapter or throughout that chapter, things leave your life. And the only constant we have in this life is change. Nothing lasts forever in that way, but we always want to have a little bit more, something better, whether it's a better job, a better life, a better relationship, a better understanding of who we are as individuals, our goals, our wants and our needs. I mean, take for example the wanting to go to the gym more. We want to start building muscle and losing fat, and we want to be able to run a marathon. And we know the steps that we must take in order to do that. And we look at all the positive sides of these things and say, I want this, I need this. And I'm a bit of a big picture guy. You know, when I look at something that I want to do in this life, I have no issue creating a plan and a step-by-step list of how to achieve it. And I could do really well in those things for a month or two, and then I kind of just fall off the wayside and just look at it and go, is this really worth the time and energy? Am I really going to want to do this in 5 to 10 years? Am I really going to be happy with this if I continue this for the next 30, 40, 50 years? Or at the end of those 50, 60 years, am I going to turn around and go, yeah, no, I tried it and I was okay with it for a time, and then just life got in the way, so I never picked it up again. And I noticed this with a lot of the interests I've had over the years. Like for the longest time as a child, I learned piano and tin whistle and even a bit of guitar. But I could never get over the starting stages of these things. And the same could have been said with things like gaming or video editing or scripting or drawing or painting and even writing. I had 3 different books that I had planned to write, and I'd even started them with chapters and ideas and concepts and video essays that would take over a year or 2 to even create. I even when I was very young, even dabbled in music creation, not just learning music like the guitar and the piano and the tin whistle, but experimenting and creating music. And I've always seen myself as a bit of a creative person. I've always looked at how other people do things because it interests me so much, the process of doing these things. And that interest expanded into other things like psychology and science and philosophy and history and sociology and all these different things, even religion, and looking at different religions in the past and the present. But ultimately, the further I got down the rabbit hole of every single thing I've done in my life, and I start to get content with the building of these concepts and ideas and the habits that have been formed, the fear kind of sets in. The fear of, if I become good enough at this, what then? What do I do with this? And ultimately it turns into a, can I do this as a career? Can I do this as money? Can I do this to sustain myself, or just do it as a hobby? Because when you create things, you want to share them. But as anyone who has created anything knows, that once it gets to a certain amount of people, it's no longer your creation. It's no longer your piece of art. It's no longer your piece of work. It's someone else's. And this fear of mine, this fear of success is, I believe, the loss of control, the sacrifice of control of the things I do, of the control of my own life. I cannot control how you interpret my videos, how you interpret something musical or physical or even metaphysical or psychological. The words I say, after I say them, they're no longer mine, because they're on this platform, this online realm. And this is something I've tried to talk about on live streams in the past, and something I've tried to talk about in videos in the past, but I've always ended up deleting it, or removing it, or biting my tongue, or something along that lines. I want to be able to create things that will be able to help people. I don't want to be an influencer. I don't want to be someone that everyone looks up to as some kind of deity or something like that, or, oh my gosh, it's Simon, he's so amazing. I don't want that. You know, I'm not perfect, and I don't want to ever appear that way. And I think there's like a constant battle in my head when I do create things, because I don't want to be interpreted that way. And I can't... Some of the things I've made in the past, and some of the things I've done in the past, have helped quite a few people overcome some incredible things, and they've thanked me for it. But that's not on me. That's on them for taking what I've said and doing something better with their own life. And that's kind of just what I want to do. I want to be able to talk about things and to speak in such a way that maybe the ramblings of my mind can bring some kind of peace to other people and help them improve their lives. But at the same time, I've also had people who misinterpret what I say, sometimes maliciously and sometimes ignorantly. And like, as I said, I can't control that. And I've been creating things online for the better part of 11 years. And at first it was just me wanting to remain anonymous, or just wanting to stay out of backlash in case people thought I was, you know, against the current thing or some shit like that. But the truth be told is, I want to live a simple life, but I also want to do so much more. And I think that is a very common feeling. We want to be better in our lives, and we want to have better things in our lives. And I think this fear of success isn't just me. I think this is something that affects a lot more people than maybe people give it credit for. And the funny thing is, this fear is totally ungrounded in reality. I mean, take for example one of your most embarrassing days in life, right? You think everyone's watching you. You think everyone is looking at you, and that they'll remember it for the rest of their life. But the truth is, they'll forget it in like maybe a month or two. Maybe even a day. The only person that will really remember it is you. And the same can be said for your successes as well. In the grand scheme of things, eventually no one will remember the good things that you do, or the achievements that you make or do or manage to make possible. Even if you were somehow, you know, one of the thousands of people to change the course of human history, you might only be remembered for one thing. You know, your whole life isn't going to be on display. Your whole life isn't going to be understood. It's not going to be, picked under a microscope. Unless, of course, you fuck up really badly, but that's another story. But the likelihood of that happening is very, very slim. And something I've slowly begun to realize since getting my own place and living on my own for almost a year now. No, sorry, for over a year I've been living on my own. And what I've noticed is the more that you do things, no matter how small the achievement is, you slowly become used to the change. And you encourage it because you want to better yourself. You want to have these better things in life. And you start to realize that this fear of success, this fear of growth, this fear of having an impact is just so mind-bogglingly stupid. I want to leave a good impact on this world, better than I came into the world with. And I think I've already achieved that. But I want to do more. And I'm going to do more. And no matter how much this fear of success is ingrained into me, I'm just going to tell it to fuck off. And I hope if you're listening to this and this makes some sort of sense to you, that you are able to do that too. And hopefully we both can make the world a little bit of a better place. Thanks for watching.